how you do, friends? It's Ranee with the Llama shop, and I am back. Whoops, bumping my camera everywhere. This is a little bit different video. As you can see, there's nothing going on my big machine. I don't know if you've ever actually seen the front part of my machine. Sorry about the movement, guys. I've got you on a tripod. And so, I'm going to see if I can... Woo! Hello. That's not exactly what I wanted to do. Okay, so this is the front part of my machine. God bless. Whew. Okay, there we go. Now then. So, the point for today was to try to clean my machine and take you guys on a kind of a tour of my machine. So all of these things right here are needles. There's 15 of them. Well, you can't see all 15 in this shot. Let me see if I can scoot it back just a bit. There we go. There's all 15 of them. And from time to time, I have to clean this thing out right here. And I have to oil and grease the machine, which I don't know if I can get the whole process because it involves moving all the way around the machine. And like I said, I have you on a tripod. So I thought I would kind of show you this part of cleaning out the machine. And, see if, let you guys at least see that part. There is a lot that goes into running this business and keeping this machine working, a lot more than I ever anticipated there would be. I mean, my little machine was fairly low maintenance, and, well, I just kind of jumped headfirst into this one. Actually, I was kind of pushed by Mr. Llama headfirst into this one. We couldn't go for a 3 or a 4 needle one. We went straight for 15. Luckily, we didn't go for like one of the 20 needle ones. Or like 23, 21, whatever they are. So, I mean, it's not bad. It's not horrible until you get a design where you have to change all 15 colors, and then I get a little bit testy, and I'm like, blah, 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 change all the colors, blah. But, so, let's get this started here. I'm going to try to move the camera back to where I had it. And again, sorry about the movement and the shaking, because you are on a tripod. I don't know if I'm going to be in front of the camera when I try to do this. Let's see, let's try to put you guys right about there, and I'll try to work from the side. So, keeping in mind, try to watch the monitor and watch what I'm doing at the same time, which won't be easy because they're in two totally different directions. And so, in order to take this little plate off, first I'm going to take out the bobbin with a little curly Q on it. If you were ever curious, these are size L bobbins. Right now I have black in there and it's almost empty. It's nothing for me to go through like 5 or 6 bobbins in a day if I'm busy. I mean, I don't know, I don't actually keep track. But I know I could go through a lot of them because it's like, I say to myself, oh, I'm out again. It's like, yeah, I'm out again. Trying to find the little screwdrivers I need, the little Allen wrenches and screwdrivers. And so I think this is the right one. It might be too big. Yeah, that's too big. I need the smaller one. See, I like this one, but it's hard to fit it down in there. And for those of you who've had questions about using a needle threader on these, I can't very well get up in behind with a needle threader. As you can see, I can't even hardly get my finger up in there. It's just, I kind of just have to do it. Just have to eyeball it and get it done. Well, where's my little one? Dude, did somebody not put my little wrench back? I think that's the one I just tried. Well, it helps if you put it in the right one. Here I am trying to stick it in the wrong hole. Of course, I'm sitting all the way back. I can't really see what I'm doing because the camera's in my way, but, you know. Well, that still didn't help me because I'm still not finding the screwdriver I need. Is it down in the hole? I wonder if I missed my little pouch and just dropped it down in the... See, I keep my tools in this little pouch, and I'm wondering if I missed the pouch. And it's actually down in my little keeper down. I have a... Oddly enough, I have a thing on the front of my machine that's for somebody who has a walker, and I just strapped it around my machine. It's got all the little pockets and stuff. It's really cool. But no, it's... Well, here, I'm just going to put all my junk on the table. Pardon me. No. It's not in the pouch. Always when you try to go on camera. Always. Or then again, maybe somebody actually put it back in the thing where it belongs. Alright, well now this is just making me upset. That one's too big. So it has to be this one. It has to be. See, I have a nice big set of wrenches also, and there's only one missing out of it. Only one. So it has to be this one. Why is it not fitting? Again, limited space here. There we go. I had the right one all along. Of course, this machine takes, like, I have to use 2 or 3 different ones. And there we go. See, that's why I have, that's why I have this little thing here to catch my bits and pieces. Because this thing is hard to work on. So far, luckily, I have not dropped anything that I haven't been able to find. And normally I am not this awkward at this, but like I said, the camera is in my way. Ordinarily, I sit right up in the front of it and I'm able to just get right to it and get everything done and back together. So, I've had this machine for almost a year now. It'll be a year in January. I believe I got it January 10th or 7th, I can't remember, of this year. And I've come a long way. At first I really hated the thing. I preferred my little one. It was a lot more user-friendly until I got to know this one. And then we started, when we started speaking the same language, then, you know, we started getting along and, you know, then we got to it. I use my little brush here. Just cleaning out all of the accumulated fuzz. And so this thing right here on the front is part of the cutter. This and this little thing back here that I've got my finger on, they work together to cut the thread. So this thing is self-cutting. Of course, that makes it a lot easier when you're switching between threads for the thing to cut itself. So you don't have stuff hanging everywhere. And let's see if I can find my smaller one. Let's see, not you and not you. I think this orange one's the smaller one. No, I can't get it down in there. Maybe it's this one with the whole roughage on the end here. I'll go this way with it. There we go. You can't see really what I'm doing, but I can see what I'm doing. You have the wrong angle. But I'm just getting up in and behind. And I see just a little bit. I don't know, I don't have my pointy tweezers in here. They're out with my other one because I've been using my small one to make Christmas ornaments. But anyway. Give it a little blow. And I think I about got it. Alright, so then I have my oil. Oops, don't want to take that off. Let's see. I have my oil. And I give it just a little bit right here. And a little here. And then there's this little hole back here. Then there's other places that I have. I have two different kinds of stuff that I have to, I just have like a non-staining lubricant. There we go. It's just like a machine oil that I do for most of, well, okay, alrighty, I guess I gotta fix those two. So these two threads right here have come undone. I'll have to rethread those before I start sewing again. I know anytime that the machine starts sewing weird or whatever, my husband will say, oh, you need to do the maintenance on it. That's what the problem is. And I'm like, it's not always machine maintenance. Sometimes it's your design. You know, it's like, it's not my design, it's your machine. So, yeah, we have fun times around here. Blaming, and not really blaming. We have fun blaming each other. It's like, oh, well, you know. And he'll go back and he'll tweak his design while I'm trying to clean the machine, and, you know. Because this thing is not perfect. It does make mistakes. I mean, you know, when it does get out of sorts, it will, so funny. It'll kind of sew loose, and, I mean, I can always adjust the tension on it, but that's not usually the issue. I mean, not usually. Oops. I bumped my light. Oh, poo. Oh, poo. Here we go. Trying to find a screw. And, too, to compound things, it makes it worse. Because I'm still working with one eye here. And I'm sitting back, but I'm also sitting back, but let's see. I'm kind of sitting at an angle, so it's kind of hard to see what I'm doing. I know I heard it hit it. I know it hit the thing. Pardon me while we take a little interlude. Alright, just one second. I will be right back. No need for you to sit here while I try to find a screw. Okay, I'm back. I found it and I got it started so that, so we don't have to look at me drop another one. Drop it again. But yeah, whoever made this design, I mean, yeah. It's very compact, and it is, even on the best of days, hard to get into when you're sitting right in front of it. And, yeah. Not self-threading, which I wish it was self-threading. Like my other machine is self-threading, which is why I got it out during my, after my surgery, because it made life a lot easier to to work on something, anything, because that thing could thread itself. I mean, not really. It could thread the needle by itself, but you don't really need eyes to like thread the machine. It's like a standard sewing machine. You just up and around, and if you know how to thread a sewing machine, you don't really need to see what you're doing. You just need to feel it, more or less. I don't know if that makes sense to y'all. Why is this thing being difficult today? Probably because people are watching. This machine and I have a long history of not liking to be watched. I mean, it does not. I'll be like trying to film something, video something for you guys, and it will mess up, like horribly mess up. I was in the middle of making a project bag for someone this summer, and the motherboard decided to go plop right in the middle of the bag. I mean, I had the bag like 50% done or 75% done, and just all in the middle of it, of sewing, just decided to just kick out, and it's like, oh, you poop. And so they had to send me a new motherboard, and it was rough, because that bag was on the frame for like 4 or 5 weeks, waiting and waiting and waiting. But that, folks, is the initial part of how you clean this part. When I clean the bobbin, I have to figure out what I did with it. Okay, so the bobbin, I just take one of those little brushes and I clean down in there. This looks relatively good. There's a little bit of fiber in there, but not bad. So I'll take a minute and do that before I put that part back together. And I will say, Smart Stitch does have excellent customer service, because I have my own personal. I have 2 techs that are in China, but I also have someone in America who kind of troubleshoots as much as she can before we escalate it up the chain. And so, there. Much better. I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, I just used my paintbrush, and I just kind of went around, till I got it. Because stuff hides under this little plate back here. Let's see. What will I be running? I'm trying to decide if I want white or black. Probably, because anytime I clean it, I always run just like a test run. Nothing good, or, I don't put like $50 shirts on here or anything because of the oil, for one thing. I don't want the machine oil getting on something good. And for two, if that's not the issue, if my maintenance is not the issue, and the design is the issue, you know, I want to run something I've run in the past to make sure that, you know, that it's still, you know, it's good and it's back to working order the way it should be. And so then if we run the design again and it messes up, well, it's not my machine. So, anywho, all right, well, I hope you've kind of enjoyed this little inside peek to me cleaning my machine, and I'll try to do more inside videos if I can, like hooping and design and all of that, but I just thought I'd show this one just so you could kind of see the inside of my machine. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Okay, so like I said, after I do the cleaning and the maintenance on the machine, this is kind of like a part 2. I just decided to throw them together. This is just going to be a quick little test run, like an 11-minute or so test run, just to make sure the machine is running right and stitching correctly. So, there we go. I'm going to stitch this out for you. See, there we go. We already had a snag. What the heck? Why is it... Okay, so let me put you on pause while I fix that, or well, maybe I can work around the camera and try to fix it. So I'm going to tip you guys up. See what has happened right here. 7. Oh, I didn't even have to go very far. Sorry, I went too far. My number 7 string broke, and so I'm going to give it a tug, and it feels really tight, so I am going to have to put you on pause because I got to go to the back of the machine and take a peek back there because something feels like it's bound up. So one moment, please. Okay, so I'm back. So see how I can like pull this string now? I don't know if you can see that, but see how it freely pulls? What happens is sometimes I have these gigantic cones of thread and on the back, and sometimes they loop underneath and get caught, or sometimes since they're, you know, they run so close together, sometimes they get tangled up, and you know, sometimes that's the issue, and that's what causes the breakage. So I know as soon as I pull on it, if it's tight, there's something going on in the back, and that's what causes a snag. So I'll have to go back a little bit. But that's not what was causing the issue earlier because we hadn't even been running number 7. Of course, I probably should have been running this in one of the colors we were having issues with. Didn't think about that. I was just thinking about the color of the design I'm running. And so, now you get to see me thread a needle from 10 yards back, which is pretty amazing for one eye. And there we go. I do it by feel now more than anything. So, let's see, I got that threaded. Pardon me while I gotta trim it now. Pull one of you ends. There we go. Gotcha. Okay. And probably need to go back another 30 or so. But if it's coming to think of it, if it is an issue totally with the machine, then it shouldn't matter what color I'm running. It should misbehave on any spool of thread, not just the ones that were in the 7 or 8 that were in the design. So, all right, we got that fixed. Let me get this started again. Get you guys back in the frame. This is just basically one of my logo designs I like to run. And there you go, bound up again. Okay, so let's pull it and see. And it pulls okay. So, all right, well, and sometimes it just does this. I mean, it seems like it's stitching fine. It doesn't have any, so looking at that, there aren't any loose stitches. If anything, it's tight now, and it's breaking. Before, it wasn't breaking. It was too loose and gappy. So, not sure if we've gone the other direction. I didn't tighten anything. I mean, other than the, taking the screws in and out, but that would not cause it to be this way. So, if anything, the individual tension on this one might be too tight, but, I mean, it feels alright. I mean, so I'm able to pull it easily. It's not, I don't think it's a tension problem. It might be a thread problem, because sometimes threads just break. They come from the factory that way. So, after me bragging last time about getting this so easy, it doesn't want to do it. Let's see if I can do it with my right hand. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm ambidextrous. I was born left-handed, but the reason I had to learn to do this right-handed was because these needles are not set dead on 6 o'clock. They are set more to a between 4 and 5 o'clock angle. And so that is why it's easier to come at it with a right hand versus a left hand. They're not very nice to people who are left-handed. But then again, not much of the world is nice to left-handed people. Well, I think it's because I'm sitting further away now than I was just a minute ago. I'm going to put you on pause for a moment and get this camera out of my way so we don't spend 40 minutes trying to thread a needle. Hold on. One moment. Okay, friends, we're back, and I got it threaded and trimmed and back in place. So let us go ahead and get started and see if what's going on with it again. running pretty good right now. So far so good. Not gonna jinx it. So my husband's asking me if I've ran anything, and this is just me taking a picture for him. Not sure why those lines are there. He must have done something to put those lines there. Like, it should have been a trim. See, that is a fault in the designer, not the machine. So, not my fault. That would be, because those are actual stitches. So, yeah. Because I could have swore I've run this one before. Yeah, there we go. That other one was just like a natural weak spot in the thread. So now it's going to do, it's working on the words, the woolly llama. So, funny story about the woolly llama. Well, not really a funny story, but how the woolly llama came to be. I used to have an Etsy shop, and I hand-dyed wool. I would buy wool, like merino wool and other kinds of wool, mostly merino. But I would buy wool and dye it, and then I would also I would mix wool, because I have a drum carder and a blending board, and I used to sell it on Etsy, and that was my shop, was the woolly llama, because I've always loved llamas and alpacas. They're my preferred wool source, until I saw the bunnies, that you can like have sit in your lap and just comb them and get their fur, or you can just spin the fur right off them, because they have enough fur. But anyway, neither here nor there. The wool source that I liked was llama and alpaca, and so I've had a passion for llamas and alpacas probably at least since 2019, but maybe before. I just know 2019 was when I opened my shop, and so that's where the woolly llama came from, and I just kind of carried it over to, it's just always been my business. I started it doing business as in Missouri when I lived there as the woolly llama, and I kept that because it was just as easy rather than starting over again. I mean, I guess I could have called it the embroidered llama, but not as catchy as the woolly llama, and it's intentionally misspelled. Woolly should be spelled with 2 L's, not 1. But I mean, anywhere I've ever seen it, it's got 2 L's. So mine is unique with 1 L. So that is the story of the woolly llama, and I'm sticking to it. So we are almost there, folks. My timer says about 2 more minutes. Of course, that's not always right because it doesn't account for the time that you stop and start, like right there where it cuts it. It doesn't take that time into consideration. The timer stops. So it only counts actual stitch time, like continuous stitch time. But anyway. And I'm actually not cutting the sound out this time, so you guys can actually hear the sound. I don't know if it's going to come through as loud for you guys as it does for me, but sometimes it's louder than others. This stitch pattern is not as loud as some. Sometimes it gets like jackhammer loud in here. See, I don't know why it's cutting in some places and some places not. That's Mr. Llama for you. Of course, this is one of his early designs, so when he was first making designs and stuff. Okay, so now it's switching colors when it does that. And it's switched to a black, although I'm not sure you're going to be able to see that black very well on that dark brown. Wasn't thinking too much. Anyway, this is just a trial run to get all the oil, you know, if there's any oil that's gotten under the needles or the machine. You know, it's just a trial run to kind of wipe the machine off to get to places where I can't. So, there you go, folks. Needle 7 and needle 1 working really good. Never mind those lines. But yeah. Well, no. Maybe, I don't know. There's a little bit of a goof down there on the M. Of course, you never know. That might not be me. That might be Mr. Llama in his design. But it's certainly not too loose like the issues we were having beforehand. It's more tight. Oh, here, look at this is the back. So that is the back side of it. Maybe I could just run a tension test and see if maybe the tension is the problem. Who knows? I don't think it is, though, because we went from too loose to too tight, if anything. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. I tried to kind of give a little, you know, be a little commentator for a moment while that was running. But if you like this, please like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends. If this wasn't your cup of tea, just keep watching because this isn't all I do on my channel. There is some crocheting. Also, I have some plans to expand into hand embroidery and also into knitting if things work out. My friend Missy at Missy's Yarniverse and More and I are supposed to be doing some sock knitting after the first of the year. So, well, sock making, let's put it that way. So, we'll see where it goes. But, yeah, I'm just kind of, I am multi-stitchual. I know how to do multiple crafts. So, you know, you might put in the comments below what you like to watch because it's always helpful to know which direction to go. But I mean, this channel is mostly for the business, so you're going to see a lot of embroidery just because it's the business channel. So, anyway, I'm going to let you go. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you on the next one.